Hey guys, welcome to Agency Crypto. My name is Ben. In this video, this is just going to be kind of an introduction to the channel so you can kind of get an idea of what we're going to do here as far as content goes. And so mainly it's going to be all things crypto with a focus on trading and investing. Basically a focus on making money. So just to give you some background, this channel is a rebrand. I had another channel in the past. It's still out here. It's this one here, Crypto Haven, and you can see, this goes all the way back, 9 years ago. So I've been in crypto since late 2016. I was fortunate enough to get in at the right time, kind of set up for that 2017 crazy bull run. But I've also been trading since 2009. So I started trading in the Forex market. So with that background, that was like 8 years of trading before I got into crypto. So I was kind of set up for success because I was putting in the time and putting in the energy into trying to learn how to trade and invest. So when I hit crypto, even though I didn't have a lot of success with Forex, the crypto markets move and behave substantially differently than Forex. Forex is highly range bound, and I was trying to use trend following strategies and they just weren't working. And I could see that there were trending periods in the Forex market, which is why I kept trying to do that. But nothing like what crypto is more like, penny stocks or something with the way that they move. So, I was able to make, multiple millions my first year with crypto with the help of that 2017 bull run. So, we're going to have a lot of the similar type of videos that I've done in the past, but we're also going to put an emphasis on trading because this is something I've not really talked about too much in the past. I do have this video here, this trading with Jupiter video that got a lot of views. But this is an important thing, and I've done this in the past. I've put a course together, 5 or 6 years ago, and I gave it to like a dozen people to test it out and give me some feedback. And, I helped those people. I provided some coaching to those people. And so I've kind of done that a little bit in the past, but I've not put it on YouTube and made it a part of the content that I would put out. But I want to do that moving forward. So I'm completely rebranded. And, I think that the emphasis on trading needs to be there, because even if you are looking at crypto as in kind of the way that I wanted to look at it in the beginning, which was I don't want to trade. I don't like, on one hand I enjoy trading, but on the other hand, like especially if you get into shorter time frames and you get into day trading, it's like a job. It's like a lot of work. And granted, it's better than maybe working a job 40 hours a week, and with all the drawbacks that go along with that. You call your own shots, you set your own hours, you're your own boss, you make as much money as you want. There's no limit on your income with trading as long as you know what you're doing. But there's still a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress, and it's a lot of time. There's a lot of time spent looking at charts. But that being said, you still need to know how to do it. And I'm not against day trading. Like if I see a short-term trade, I just happen to be there and it looks like a short-term play, and I might take that. But, if you're looking to play out, say like the bull run cycle, you're still going to need to know, like if you're buying anywhere, if you're fortunate, if you're buying down here, but even if you're buying, you buy up here or up here, you need to know that it's time to get out at a certain level, say maybe up here. Because we have these bear markets that come after these bull runs, right? Here's the bull run, there's the bear market. That's going to last a year. So there's two things that you want to know and be prepared for when this stuff up here happens. Like this stuff up here, this up here. We had the 2017 one up here, bear market. So there's two things. Number one, you want to be able to get out of your positions at these levels up here. Right? These levels up here, these levels up here. And the other thing that you want to be able to do, and this is optional, but I think it's makes sense to do it, is if you know how to trade, well then once you get up here or up here or whatever, instead of just sitting back and waiting for the next bull run, like you're up here, right? So now you're waiting an entire year or year and a half to start buying again. Instead, once you get up here and you get rid of you liquidate your positions, well, then you can just start shorting the market on the way down. So now you can make as much money on the way down as you made on the way up, right? So instead of wasting all this time, you're already in the markets. You may as well learn how to do some trading, and now you can take advantage of the bear market. You can make money on the whole way down. Not only that, but once you have that mentality that you can also short on the way down because the price is going to be dropping anyways, then you're going to be less likely to want to hold the top because you're already thinking about getting out when the price turns, because you've taught yourself how to trade, and that's part of it. Part of trading is getting out and taking your profits. And so many people just keep holding on because they think it's going to go on forever, or they just want to hold Bitcoin forever, which is not a terrible idea, but you could have a separate account to do some shorter term plays, even if that's shorter term means, a few years up and 1 year down. It doesn't mean day trading necessarily. It could just mean shorting the market down for a year and then building your position back up. So we're going to cover a lot of that. I've got a lot of tips and tricks and hacks and things that work really well, which we'll be sharing. We'll talk about, money management and psychology type issues and all this kind of stuff. So people, if they want to get good at trading, or even if they want to improve their ability to make money in these markets, I intend to cover a lot of that stuff. And my goal is to do it all for free, because I don't want to. I could easily charge $100 a month or $300 a month or whatever the going rate is and start a trading group or something like that. But I don't really want to do that. I don't like that model. I think that you should be compensated for, if you have a skill and you bring that to the market, you should be compensated for that. But there's more than one way to do that. And I don't really want to charge, a monthly fee for people to come in and do that. Because number one, that means that now I have to be more on the ball and be providing content, like I'm now a slave to people because they're paying me. And I just, something about that I don't like. That's kind of what draws me to the markets in the first place, is I don't have to answer to anybody. So we'll have some other ways to do that. But this is what we're going to do. We'll have some of the same type of videos. We'll mix in some trading, different aspects of that. We'll just look at some macro stuff, like, for example, where are we right now? Well, this is a Bitcoin chart. Is the price ready to turn and go up? Some people think it is. I'm not so sure. First of all, just keep in mind that historically, the bear markets have lasted at least a year, right? So from here to here, that's at least a year. What is this? This is like November 2021, and here's November 2022. That's an entire year before we start going up, right? This has not been a year. This is like November 2025. Let's wait until like November or the end of this year in 2026 before we get too excited. But at the same time, you should be paying attention right now. Personally, I think that the markets can drop. That we might see another spike lower. Bitcoin might come down here to somewhere in the $50,000 range, 50, 55,000, somewhere in this level, right? I think it could do a quick spike down there, and it'd probably get bought back up really quick. And that doesn't necessarily have to happen like next week or something. That could be a month or two in the future. There's probably going to be some sort of geopolitical event that people attribute to that. Last bull run we had, what was it? It was it 2020? Where was it? This one we had, it was the COVID and price just collapsed, so there's always something, right? There's something that happens that makes the price collapse. And we'll probably see more of that, more sideways, more to the downside. I wouldn't get overly excited about aping in right this second. But even if you did, you're not getting a terrible price, right? Because we're down. Bitcoin has gone down 52%, and some of the other coins, other good coins like Solana or something, those are down even more. So these are not terrible places to start buying, but I think that we're in for more downward pressure and definitely more prolonged sideways pressure. So we'll analyze things from that standpoint too. We're going to have a Discord. So what I really want to do with Agency Crypto is create like one of the best trading communities out there, one of the best crypto communities, where it can be the most productive for people to be involved with. You can get the most value out of it. We can get in there and, we can talk about we want to find big plays, right? Big, exciting tokens that have the potential to give us a 10x or a 100x or whatever we can find. But we also want to be smart about it. We don't want to put too much money on high risk plays. Don't forget, like, even if you did learn how to trade, you don't even need to hit those 10,000% returns. I mean, you could get similar results by just strategically trading the bull run and then the subsequent bear market that follows, right? So that's what we're going to be looking at on this channel. So we're going to have the Discord. I'll put that link in the description below. You can get in there for free. We're going to have like a separate section. So I want it to be free, but I also want there to be a barrier to entry so we can weed out a lot of the riffraff and the spammers and the scammers and all that kind of stuff, and just have a better quality group of people in there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have anybody can just go into the Discord, but that'll just be like the lobby. If you really want to join the agency and be a part of what we're doing, there'll be private rooms within that Discord that you're not going to be able to get into unless you jump through some hoops. And so my plan is that the real agency membership is only going to be available to Clown World holders. So what is Clown World? Clown World is a meme coin that I created a couple of years ago now, and we were able to run this thing up to $1 million market cap twice in 2024. Then we had some issues with it. It was like some internal issues. That's what the word I'm looking for. So there were some insiders that I let in that I thought I could trust to be respectful with the project that kind of screwed me over. Essentially, I got rug pulled on my own project. So I had to weed that stuff out, and we relaunched the project. It's actually on its third iteration now. But I love the concept, right? I love the token, and I built it. I put in a lot of time into it. I put a ton of money, tens of thousands of dollars out of my pocket into this thing, between promotions and advertising and centralized exchange listings and all this stuff that it is expensive. It didn't take off on its own. I had to put in the work to get the growth that we got. And so now we're back down and basically starting over, but I like the project, right? So I don't want to let it die. So this gives me a way to give it some utility, by allowing people to use this. Like, this will be the payment method. It's not really a payment, but if you want to join the agency, you have to be a Clown World holder. So probably we're going to start out with a small amount, like, I don't know what it'll be, like $10 or something. And that will let people, if you hold at least that much Clown, and we'll put a note of that, like we'll pin that in the Discord somewhere so people can see what the going rate is, but it's going to be low. If we decide that we should raise it up later, we'll let the agency members vote on that. So, but I want to make it clear, I'm not telling anybody to speculate on this meme coin, right? I just want to utilize it for, like, give it utility. So instead of charging people $100 a month, I can sit here and say, well, if they're a Clown World holder, if they buy and hold these tokens, then as long as they're holding like X amount of tokens, like $10 worth or whatever it is, at the time, then they can get into the agency and they can have all of the information that I would normally be charging somebody $100 a month for, And if somebody doesn't want to buy and hold $10 worth of Clown tokens, well, they just contact me and I'll give you a payment link and you can pay me $100 a month, and I'll give you, all the information that I have. I'll teach you how to trade. I'll teach you what I did to make millions of dollars, I'll help you avoid all the pitfalls that I've fallen into. I can share all that information, but it's one or the other. So I think this is a much better deal. And it gives the token some utility, and it also will create an interesting, I think, gamification of this. I mean, like I said, I'm not asking anyone to speculate on this token. We'll let other people do that. But if people have to buy it to be, to join the agency, if they want the information that I have and that kind of coaching and mentorship that is what is going to allow you to make money in the markets, as opposed to trying to do it on your own, then you're going to have to buy and hold clown tokens. Well, that's going to increase the price, especially in the beginning, because it has a low market cap. And so eventually that will attract the attention of the people that are sitting around watching Dex Screener, right? They'll say, hey, there's something going on. And then those people, they might look at it and they want to speculate on it, and they start buying. That pumps the price up even more, and then other people start seeing it, and then it gets its natural organic growth, right? And I don't have to go in there and spend 8 hours a day on Twitter or X making posts and doing all kinds of bullshit. That's the concept behind it, and then I can just be reimbursed that way. And then once the project, like, I've never sold a token. I hold the majority of tokens. I've never sold one token in 2 years. And I mean, I sold maybe a few $100s worth along the way, but that was to reinvest in different promotions. But I've never sold any of my personal tokens. And I'm not going to until if and when the project gets a market cap in the tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. Our original goal was to make it $1 billion project, which 2 years ago was realistic. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work out anymore, but easily it could be in the tens of millions. And at that point, my goal is just to see this grow in market cap and develop just a sustainable, regular, consistent, healthy trading volume. And that's what I would like to see with Clown World. So, once it does that, then I can offload some of my tokens, and I can do it in a way that doesn't tank the price. I'm never going to dump my tokens because, like I said, this is like my baby. I've created this, and I will, even if other people that I trusted weren't going to respect it, I'm going to respect it, and I'm going to take care of it. So I would like to see it be around long term. And so, I can easily make compensation for my time and efforts that way, at least in theory. And if not, that's fine, because I still make money in the markets, and since I know how to trade, I know how to invest, there's always going to be great opportunities in crypto. So that's the plan for how I'm going to structure this for now. So if you want to join the agency, you can go to the Discord. You can get into the general Discord, and then you can get instructions from there. Like, there's nobody in there now, because if you're watching this video after it's released, there's nobody in there now. But we're going to grow this over time, right? So we're gonna put out the content that people need to see, and then the goal is just to basically help people with their crypto journey, help people to maximize their gains in what they're doing, right? To keep you to help people avoid doing the wrong things, the stupid things that cause people to lose money, and put them on the right track and teach them the skills that they can use to make money in these markets, and then simultaneously be a consistent voice of reason that can keep people on track. Because even if you know what you're doing, it's extremely easy to get sidetracked, especially with all the noise in the crypto space. If you're watching other YouTube channels, if you're on X and you're reading all these posts, you will very quickly get off track and find yourself doing the wrong things. And now instead of making money, you're losing money. So it's very important to have somebody who knows what they're doing, that can consistently give you information that is going to help you remember to do the things that you learned to do, the things that you need to be doing to make money and avoid losing money. So that's one of the things that the channel is going to do. There'll be a much bigger emphasis in the Discord. You know, if you're an agency member, you'll get all kinds of other perks. You know, there'll be different videos in there that maybe don't show up on the regular YouTube channel. We'll have all that kind of stuff going on in there too. So anyways, that's what this channel is going to be about. It's going to be more of the same, and then some. Plus, we're going to have the Discord. And so we're going to talk about crypto, and I think this is the time to engage. If you're not paying attention, like if you've been kind of in hibernation mode since like whatever this is, the last 6 months or whatever, you need to start paying attention. Because number one, you can trade these markets if you want, and you can still make profits no matter what direction the market's going. And number two, we're going to be getting to the point pretty soon where it's time to start engaging. It's time to start stacking up your sats if you're holding Bitcoin or looking for some of the other tokens. And so this is the time where the big money is made. It's not on the way up. I mean, you would think that, okay, when the price goes up, that's where we make our money. Well, not quite. You make your money by getting involved down here. This is where you do your research, you roll up your sleeves, you put in the time and energy and work, and you find your strategic plays, and you work 2 jobs or whatever you got to do to get all the money that you can into these markets, into your plays at the lowest price possible. And then when the price goes up, then you just sit back and watch as you get rich, because if you do this right, that's what happens. And then you don't stop paying attention, because you're going to want to take profits at certain points. So we'll end the video here. Make sure you guys subscribe and go to Discord if you want. I encourage you guys to join the agency. Like I said, it's going to be free essentially, and then we'll have some hurdles to jump through. That way we don't get too much riffraff in there. And that's it. Stay tuned for the next video, guys, and we'll see you then.
Join the agency if you dare.
Join the agency, feel the